Hi there, today we're doing a basic mat workout. You don't need any equipment, just you and the floor and a mat if you have one. You can do this workout pretty much anywhere. If you're traveling or at home, wherever you are, you can do Pilates on the go. So we're going to start here with just some simple breathing. We're going to do just a few warm-up exercises to get you prepared. And you're going to start by sitting tall on the sit bones. And we're going to take a nice inhale and then exhale as we round down over the shins and look through the legs to the floor. And then on your next inhale, you're going to rise yourself back up. So you're going to exhale as you round over. And then inhale to stack the spine nice and tall, reaching through the top of the head. Start to feel your ribs expanding with each inhale, and then each exhale, you're really pushing the air out through the pursed lips. And then rolling up. So you're starting to connect your breath to your movement. Let's take a scooch forward on the mat, roll yourselves down, get long and straight so you're nice neutral spine. So if you're new to Pilates, you need to know where neutral is, and then we're going to inhale and exhale and then find an imprinted position, which means we're pressing down with the belly button towards the floor and lowering the back towards the floor. That's your imprint. And then inhale, and we're going to rise back up. So we're just going to do a few of those pelvic rocks with our breath, rocking back and forth between neutral and imprint so that you can begin to explore where a neutral tilted pelvis is. You don't want to be tilted forward or back. You want to know where that neutral place is. And you do that with the abdominals. So you're controlling all this movement with your abdominals, nothing from the glutes and hamstrings. And now let's find a neutral spine, and we're going to reach the arms to the ceiling and then slowly drop the thumbs toward the floor, and I want you to pay attention to what happens to your rib cage. We're going to take a few of those arcs with the fingertips reaching, and as your hands travel overhead, just take notice and see if you are maintaining your rib cage placement, or if as your hands reach overhead to your ribs pop toward the ceiling. Your job is to hold those ribs steady. This is good placement for the posture. We want all the joints to know where they belong in our posture throughout the day. So this is just training, simple mind awareness for that. And then let's drop those hands, and we're going to start with some hip release. And you're going to draw the long leg out and then pull the short leg in. The knee drops toward the midline and then opens to travel up. And as you make those little circles with the knee, I want you to pay attention to how that affects your pelvis and your abdominals and how they react to that motion. And then we're going to follow the leg to the outside and reverse that circle. So this is just, again, warming up, getting your mind aware of your placement. Your job here is to try to hold the hips square. Now we're going to reach with the second leg, long, and then pull the short leg up. That toe is right in line with your sit bone. Those bones you sit right on top of when you're nice and tall, that sit bone is the line where your leg is tracking out from. Now you're going to drop the knee to the outside, long straight leg, pull it back in. Long straight leg, pull it back in. Long and straight. And one more. Good. Flat feet. Ground those feet. Spread the toes out onto the mat. You're going to reach the arms up overhead. Then as your hands pass your nose, you're going to nod your chin, roll up, look through the knees. Lie yourself back down nice and slow. Now as you did that, take notice, did you rock yourself into imprint? And then release as you go back into neutral. So we're going to exhale as we come up. Imprint. Inhale as we return and find neutral. Think about that shoulder placement and the rib cage placement and the pelvis. Where is it? And reach back. And one more, we're gonna roll ourselves up, and I want you to stay here, hold this, and we're gonna use this position for our 100. So we're gonna inhale for 5 beats, and then exhale for 5 beats. The arms are reaching long. And exhale. Your spine is imprinted. And exhale, deepen that curve. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. In. And reaching. Each time you exhale, I want you to deepen that curve and really pull that flexion into the spine like a C. And exhale. You got 2 more sets. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Last one. Exhale. And we hold. Stay here and breathe. And then slowly relax the back. We're going to flop over, roll onto the front side. I want you to hover the nose right over the mat. Long legs reaching to the back corners. So the legs are slightly open. You're going to have your hands right here next to the shoulders. We're going to take an inhale and hold this position. And I want you to feel your belly button strong, pulling toward your spine. And those bottom ribs reaching down towards the hip bones. And as you breathe, on your next exhale, you're going to rise up just an inch and hover the shoulders and the head right over the mat. Take a breath. And then exhale and lower it back down. Inhale. Scapula, slide down the ribs. Tighten the belly, pressing the pubic bone into the floor, reaching tall through the top of the head. And lower. Inhale. Exhale up. Hold the abdominals. 1 breath cycle here and then lower. So as you arch up, this should be in the upper back, the thoracic spine, and the shoulders. This is not traveling down into the lumbar spine. And rise up. And down. And rise up. 1 more. And down. And now bring your hands underneath the forehead. They're just stacked on each other, just like pancakes here. And this time as we lift up, the elbows and the hands come with us off the floor. Tighten the tummy. This is just challenging those back extensor muscles a little bit more. And lower. Up. 1 breath. And lower. And lift up. Tighten the belly. Feel that abdominal connection and lower. And lift. We want to protect the lumbar spine by holding our abdominals tight and lower. And 1 more. Lift. And lower. Press the hands under the shoulders. You're going to scoot back over the heels. Initial stretch. Here, we're just going to round the back. You're scooping up off of your thighs. Feel your shoulders pressing down and back on the ribs. Those scapula are put away where they belong. Come up onto all fours, and we're going to move through a cat stretch. Hands are right under the shoulders. Knees are right under the hips. We're going to start with the tailbone. Use the abdominals to pull the pubic bone up towards the chin, and then the movement travels through the spine, and the head is very last. Take an inhale and really stretch the ribs toward the ceiling. And then on your next exhale, you're going to drop the hips toward the floor and let that movement travel through 1 vertebra at a time until the crown of the head is reaching to that wall, opposite wall. Exhale as you move. Inhale as you stretch. And as you do this, I want you to explore how much is happening in the shoulders and what is happening in the spine. Your shoulders and your spine movement should be separate from each other. We want this motion to be happening in the spine, and the shoulders are just stabilizing. Last one, let's find that extension. Back of the neck is long, long, long. Come back to a neutral spine, and let's do a few little mini push-ups where we just push the floor away. So we want to begin to understand how the shoulders move separately from the spine. So this is not a cat-cow or a arching or flexing of the spine. This is a shoulder pushing and pulling. It's a protraction and retraction. So there's a difference there. Now find neutral with the spine, and we're going to turn around and sit. How are we doing so far? Bottoms of the feet flat on the floor, right in line with the sit bones. Round the spine over so that you are still on the sit bones, but you're in this curved position. Your eyes are on the floor right between the knees, and your shoulders are in place. Hold this C position, and we half roll back and return. And 2, and return. Toes are reaching to the floor. I want you to feel those big toes pressing into the floor so you have weight in your feet. And back. Scoop. I like to think of a ball here in my lap. So as I come forward to my thighs, I'm curving over that ball. Let's do 2 more. 1 and 2. Good. Scoot forward to the front of the mat. We're going to roll down 1 vertebra at a time, very slowly. Reach the arms overhead, and now let's try for a roll up. And since we're beginning here, and this is an introductory exercise, we're going to do this with bent knees. Eventually we want to be able to do this with straight legs, but we'll start here. We nod the chin, it follows the hands, and we roll up and round over. So this is a full roll up. We did half roll back, and now we're doing a full roll up. Keep that round flexed spine all the way up and all the way down. So you go through imprint, round. Now get the low back down and back. Imprint. This is a hard one for me. I have a hard time keeping my feet grounded on the floor, but we want to try to attempt to keep that. Now we're going to slowly roll back. 1 vertebra at a time. And now let's stay in imprint. Pull our legs up to tabletop position. So my shins are parallel to the floor and my knees are right over my hips. And here I'm going to start reaching long with one leg. So this is a single leg stretch. Single leg stretch. I'm trying to maintain my imprint. My neck is long, my shoulders are back. And now if we want to progress and make this just a little more challenging, then we would do it this way. Roll up, reach one leg long and straight while the second hand holds the knee. And then switch, switch. So I'm reaching long with the toes, and I'm hovering that leg right over the floor. Reach. And reach, and reach, and reach. Long leg. 2 more. 1 and 2. Good. Both knees in. Stretch those legs as straight as you can. Keep this flexion up. And we're going to pulse. 1, 2, and switch. This is your exhale. Inhale, switch. Exhale. Inhale, switch. You're in imprint. This is scissors. Scissoring the legs. Scissoring the legs. Reach long. Lengthening the legs. And 2 more. Last one. Legs up. Bend the knees, roll back down into that tabletop position, and let's place the feet on the floor. Nice job. Roll over to one side. We're doing well. We're going to start with a side leg series just to help you get some hip stability. And so we're going to use the back side of the mat as a guide to lie down and make ourselves long and straight. We want the back of the head, the rib cage, the back of the pelvis, the sacrum, and the bottoms of the feet to all be in one long straight line. And then let's just practice lifting the ribs off the floor. So we're here and I'm just relaxing into the floor. I'm going to use my obliques and my abdominals to pull my spine into a straight position. And that leaves this little mouse hole right here. this little arch, so that my spine goes from sagging into the floor to neutral. And there's a little bit of a side bend, and then I come back to neutral. So when you're doing side lying exercises, I want you to be able to hold and maintain that neutral spine. Now from here, we're just going to open and close that top knee. This is a clam. Open and close. For those external rotators of the hip. Open and close. 6. Good. Keep going. 8. We're going to try for 10. So go 2 more. 1 and 2. And now the whole leg lifts in line with the sit bone, and the toe is suspended in the air as the knee just continues to open and close. It's that external rotation and then back to a parallel position. So swiveling the hip. Very good for hip stability. So this is a great way to begin exploring where your weaknesses are and where we need to begin to work and focus on what you need for you. Good. Keep breathing. And last one. Good. Now I want you to take that top leg, put the foot in front of you, flat on the floor, and reach the bottom leg long. And we're going to try to pick up that bottom leg. 2, 3. Good. 4. It's okay to use this hand for balance if you need it. You just don't get to collapse forward, so open in the shoulders. Up and up and up. And keep lifting that leg off the floor. Up and down. Up and down. One more. Up and down. Up and down. Fantastic. Okay, slow. Flip around the other side. The other leg gets a turn. Make sure you're long and straight on your mat. We start with 10 clams. Lifting the ribs up off the mat so you're nice and straight in the spine. We open and close. 2. Good. 3. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. 8. You should feel this right in your back pocket. Last one. And we lift the whole leg. The toe stays right where it is in space. And you just lift and lower the knee. Open and close. It's like a hinging movement. Open and close. Open and close. Good. The waist is lifted. The long and straight, tall through the top of the head. Good. That foot goes to the floor. Bottom leg long and straight. And we lift and lower with the bottom leg. 2. And 3. And 4. You can have the hand here. If you need the balance, you can go here. Either one, but keep the chest open. Lift. And lift. And lift. And lift. And lift. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Good. On to the tummy. So just roll right over where you are. We're going to reach long with the arms and the legs. And I want you to pull the tummy tight so that pubic bone is pressing into the floor, long through the top of the head. Lift one arm and the opposite leg together and lower. Nice and slow. Lift and lower. I want you to feel the back of your neck very long and reaching. And that belly button is pulling up into the spine. Lift and lower and lift and lower and lift. And this is 2. And this is 1. Good. Press back. Shell stretch a second time. Now crawl those fingers out and reach, push into the mat with the fingertips, lift the palms, pull the shoulders down away from the ears, and scoop up with the tummy away from your thighs. Hold that. Good. Let's come on to all fours, and we're going to do a little bit of a bird dog extension exercise. So similar to swimming, only now we're on all fours. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. One leg and the opposite arm reaches. And lower those back to replace them. Reach with the second set. and lower. Nice and easy. Good for the balance, pull the belly. Now, concentrate here on your job, which is to hold the shoulders and the hips square, and the stomach very strong. The spine is neutral, so there's no flexing or extensing in the spine. You're just reaching. Last one. Good. How'd you do? All right? Okay, let's move on to something. This will be your most difficult thing, and I want you to practice this. This is a teaser. We're going to start with an introductory teaser, and then we'll work more on that as we get into our more intermediate and advanced levels. But just to get started on a teaser, we extend your spine straight. Be still back behind your tailbone, so the pelvis is still tilted under you, but the thoracic spine, the cervical spine, all of that is reaching into a neutral position. That's what you're searching for. Arms come to the ears, and then we roll down and get the low back down first. Now, that's our goal. But to begin with, I'm going to scooch back this way a little bit. To begin with, we start the teaser here. And I'm going to let you keep the feet on the floor for now. Arms are overhead. You're going to nod the nose with the hands. Go through imprint, roll yourself up, and find that tall seated position. You're hinged back and you round back down to get the low back down. Reach overhead. Now let's try one with the feet up. So just hold them in a tabletop position and move on your exhale to here. Try to straighten them, lift the sternum like you've got a diamond necklace on, show it. And then roll down, holding those legs in tabletop. Roll through imprint, pull up, nice and tall. Oh, don't let those toes touch. Roll yourself down through imprint, and then you can go ahead and lower the feet. Nice job. Let's sit facing the side of the mat. Crisscross applesauce your legs. Sitting tall, feel yourself on your sit bones. I want you to stack your hands this way, and we're just going to twist one side and the next for a little spinal rotation. As you do this, I want you to feel like these arms are just locked right in front of the shoulders. You're twisting in the obliques, each time growing a little bit taller, a little bit taller, a little bit taller. And now take those legs and switch. Put the other one on top, put the other hand on top, and we twist. And we twist. Very good. So we went over some great basics today. Keep growing tall. So if Pilates is new to you, this is a good introduction on just some of the terminology and the positioning and how you want to start training yourself to move before we get into more intermediate and advanced levels. Good. Now let's keep the hands here and side bend. Nice. And side bend. Now notice, do you still have a long neck, or did the shoulders come and crowd up to the ears? Really place those shoulders where they belong. Shoulders are sneaky. They like to mess around. So you got to be the boss and put them where they go. Keep those sit bones down. So as I reach this way, don't let this hip rock up. You want to keep the sit bones grounded. Nice and tall through the center. And now, of course, we've got to flip-flop the legs. So the second leg has a turn, reach, side bending. So each Pilates routine should have all the ranges of motion of the spine. You want flexion, you want extension, you want rotation, you want side bending. That's what keeps your healthy spine and a healthy core. So you want the motion and the stability, both. Good job. Hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.